Jam on It, Nucleus, and, the driving force, one of the driving forces behind that song was, of course, Cozmo D. And if everything is all right, we have a connection with Cozmo D at the moment. Are you there, Cozmo?
Yes, I am. What's up, yo?
Good. Well, nothing's going on here but good hip-hop. Cozmo, thank you very much in the first place for having this conversation with us. You were right there when it all started. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I wasn't in the Bronx. I was in Brooklyn, but when things got started in New York, Brooklyn has its own stories to tell too. So yeah, I was deep in it.
Well, you stated it right there at the beginning. You were in Brooklyn. You say it started at the Bronx. Is this, the definite answer when it comes to the bridge wars between, where hip hop started? It is the Bronx, most definitely.
It depends on what you define as hip hop. If what you define as, I'm serious.
Yeah.
If what you define as hip hop is based on break dancers, then yeah, that started in the Bronx. Mm-hmm. We had a very similar dance in Brooklyn, but it was called up rocking, and we didn't do the floor work.
Oh, okay.
But the same time that they were dancing to breaks, we were dancing to breaks. So, as a matter of fact, we were doing it earlier.
Oh, okay.
Our version of hip hop in Brooklyn goes back to the '60s.
Wow, even to the '60s.
That's right.
And that included, turntablists searching out the breaks, repeating that, and people dancing to that.
Well, it wasn't what you call now turntablists. You got to remember that even Kool Herc wasn't what would be called the turntablists now. But extending breaks, yes, definitely. That was going on already in Brooklyn. Nice.
Now, we've talked to a lot of artists when it all started out back in the day in New York. And most of them say that it started out, in apartments and in houses, and that it quickly took over the streets, and eventually that would lead to block parties. Was that the same thing in Brooklyn?
Well, no. It was street driven. Because, nobody in their house had two turntables and a mixer. Those things were unheard of. That was something that was built for and designed for DJs. So, and naturally, DJs were either in clubs or they were in the streets, mm-hmm. Playing in the parks. So, no, it wasn't driven in the house. The first time anybody from my era saw this, they saw DJs in the parks.
Wow, I would have loved to take a little stroll down these parks, and certainly at this time. You, on the other hand, your career officially started somewhere around 1977. How did that came to be?
Well, I first got turned on to DJing in '75, and it just blew me away. And I had some friends who had a system, a little set, and we would go over there and hang out and get on their set. And in '76, we started our own set. And when I say we, I'm talking about myself, my cousin, who goes by the name Master Quadro, and his sister, my other cousin, Nikki D. And the three of us were DJing together. We didn't have a name or anything. But Neek, in '77, she had to leave to go to college. So my best friend, David St. Louis, also known as Dr. Freeze, joined up, and Dr. Freeze, Master Quadro, and myself, Cozmo Disco, we became known as Jam On Productions. We took the name Jam On Productions, mm-hmm. and that was in '77, and that's the start of it all right there.
So what did you do when you just created Jam On Productions?
We started doing the parties and playing in parks. We didn't have a lot of equipment at first, but block parties, playing in parks, house parties, stuff like that. And we started to grow, and we bought more and more equipment. We got equipment made for us, and by 79, we hit our peak.
Yes. And that peak was?
Yeah. Well, that peak was we were rocking parks all throughout Brooklyn, and battling other DJ crews, and we were killing it, man. We were killing it. And that was the summer of 79. I have a song about it on our new album.
Oh, new album. I'm sure to be addressing that later on. But that was the summer of 79. That it was roughly 5 to 6 years later until you released your first record. What happened in the meantime?
Well, I had always, from DJing, I always figured that, I'd listened to the tracks and figured I could do it better. I figured that, I heard and I would break down what the producer or the musician was doing on the track. But, being that I was playing for people, I always figured I could do a better job of it. So, and I had been in a couple of bands. I had tried to play guitar earlier, and I had been a singer earlier. So I decided in the 79, I decided I was going to get a synthesizer. So I bought an Electro Harmonix mini synthesizer and a Woensdag rhythm drum machine. And I started trying to make music myself. And eventually I would work with my wife, who I met in 79, Lady E, and Niet, Nikki D, who I first started, my cousin who I first started DJing with. And she started going out with a DJ that lived on our block, who I had also played in a rock band with. He played bass guitar. And his name was Bob, and his DJ name was Chili B. And the four of us started making music together. And that is what would eventually lead to what we would call Nucleus.
Yeah. And Nucleus, of course, was mainly kind of electric hip-hop. Had a lot of electro influences. Was that what the scene was like in Brooklyn when you started out? Was that more disco-driven or more electro-driven at the moment?
Well, we weren't trying to be part of any scene. We were just making our own music. And I really don't, if you're asking what the DJs played, the DJs in Brooklyn played whatever to get the floor rocking. We played a lot of disco. We played a lot of funk. We played a lot of breaks. We didn't play a lot of electro, but when the Kraftwerk Computer World album came out, that took things by storm.
Yeah.
No, I loved the electronic sound, but what I was working with was synthesizers. So what other kind of music could I have made when you think about it? But I realized, and I've thought about this over the years, and the more I've analyzed it, I realized I'm a funk producer, but
okay.
I use electronic instruments. And so the name, I never heard this title, this genre. I never heard of it till 1999. We surely didn't use it back in the days, but the genre electro funk probably fits me better than any other.
Yeah.
Because my process is a funk process, but the instrumentation I use is all electronic. So electro funk is perfect.
So you might have originated that one.
I'm not going to make any claims like that, but I know it fits me to a T, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, very nice. And
definitely fits me to a T.
And it wasn't unsuccessful.
No, we hit a nice stride for a minute there.
Yeah, I can imagine. So what happened after you brought out your first album? I believe that was 1984?
Yeah, the first album came out in 1984. We dropped our first single, Jam on Revenge, in 1983, and then followed it up with Jam on It in 1984, and then the first album soon afterwards. Well, things were doing really well. You know, the album did well, the singles did well, and we did a second album in 1985. But by the time the second album dropped, we realized that we were getting ripped off by the guy that we had did our deal with. And we also the record company Sunnyview was going through legal issues.
Aye.
So that kind of waylaid the second album.
Yeah.
But the second album, even though it didn't sell as well as the first album, right now is considered a classic.
Yeah, it is. It certainly is. That was 1985, of course. Space is the Place. That
Right.
is a classic album. And after that, you already said that Sunnyview was in legal problems, and you probably had some problems with the record company as a whole through that.
Well, with the guy, because we originally were on Mayhew Records, and then he signed us over to Sunnyview. So, our deal was with Mayhew. And he basically decided he wasn't going to pay us. So, we had 2 hit albums and no money.
Wow.
So, when we realized what was going on, we stopped working with him.
Of course.
And then, Chili B and I went into producing other artists ourselves.
Yeah, I can imagine that would lead to a breakup with with whoever you're working with. That's not a very good way to treat people. And
No.
then we had to wait another 5 years for your third album. It was 1990 by that time, and somewhere between 1985 and 1990.
No. That's not us.
That's not it?
No, you're talking about what was it, Jam for the 90s or whatever that thing is?
Yeah, Jam on This.
Yeah, that's not us.
Who's that?
That's the phony dude from Mayhew. He put out an Imposter album. I mean, listen to that album and listen to the stuff we put out. You hear they don't sound anything alike, except for the stuff that he bootlegged and put crowd noise over. But
Wow.
otherwise, no, it's an Imposter album by an Imposter group.
Right, we'll scratch that one off right away. When yeah, well, hey, we're here to set the record straight, right? What was the next album?
Yeah, that's why we're here.
Yeah, exactly.
The next official release was oh my God, why am I drawing a blank? Destination Earth.
Okay.
But it's a compilation. It's a compilation with some unreleased stuff and best of. But there were only 2 original Nucleus albums, and both of those happened in 84, 85. That's Jam on Revenge and Space is the Place.
Of course. So,
And the third album is being worked on right now.
wow, that is some great news. When will we be expecting this new album?
Well, I'm hoping it'll be finished before the end of the year.
It would be great under my Christmas tree.
I'm trying, but considering we're planning to release it on vinyl as well, vinyl takes forever to get it out. So,
Yep.
and I don't want it to be on digital before it gets on the vinyl and CD. So maybe I'll have CDs before the end of the year, but we will see. But the new album is called Jam on Returns, and it's all original, all new stuff. Well, not all original, but all new material.
Cool.
It also includes a new version of Automan, where Automan is rehashed and redone for 2017 in the exact way I realized and wrote it. You know, because basically the original version of Automan that was put out was a dub version.
Mm-hmm.
So this is it in its full version and an updated version of Computer Age. Because we are definitely in the computer age now.
Yeah,
so
yeah, we're in the middle of it.
A version with new lyrics. That's right.
Right. Who are all the people working on the new album?
Oh, it was myself, Lady E, and Chili B worked on the Computer Age track before he passed. So, but otherwise, it's myself and Lady E. But you know, I did most of the stuff anyway. So. On the first two albums.
And besides the new albums, are you doing any, singles or one-off productions?
What do you mean, nuclear singles or
no? You as Cozmo D.
Oh, I let me see. Have I worked with as much stuff? No, as Cozmo D. Not so much, but as Ben Cenac, I do a lot of house music. I have, after my career as an electro pioneer, I became known as a deep house pioneer through my house group, my house project, Dream to Science. So, and another one, Push Pull. So I have music that's out there that's doing well. It's been doing well for 20 years, and I'm doing a lot of remixes and stuff and getting more stuff out there. And I'll be having more projects coming in the next year.
Nice, but the thing we're looking forward to most, of course, is the new Nucleus vinyl, and also, of course, the CD. If it happens this year, please do let us know, because our listeners want to know, and even if they don't want to know, I want to know. And if it comes somewhere in the beginning of 2018, we would really like to know. So as soon as there's something new to tell about this new album, let us know.
Definitely will.
Nice. I know that you have had some collaborations, and I even have proof of that. This might ring a bell, this name, King Just?
Oh, yeah, King Just is my cousin. Oh, somebody who actually digs deep. How did you know about the King Just stuff?
Well, we're hip-hop high school. We're supposed to know everything. It's our job.
Very good. I'm sorry. I should have been prepared for that.
No
King
problem.
Just,
yeah.
Nikki D and Master Quadro. King Just is their little brother.
Wow.
Yeah. So he came to me, after he had problems with the people he was with. And we worked on quite a few things over the years. Still trying to work together, but he's running around and I'm running around a lot lately. But, it's a family thing, so.
Yeah, it's a very musical family thing.
No matter what.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we try and keep it that way.
Yeah. Well, as I said, looking forward to the new album. As soon as there's anything to tell, we would like to tell our listeners. So keep us posted. And thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us.
Thank you for talking to me.
Well, it was my pleasure, I can tell you. And not only did I say that I know you had a collaboration with King Just, we're also going to be listening to it. Freestyle.
Boy, are you crazy? You come here to fuck with Cozmo D? Don't you know he's an old school master? Oh my God, he gonna tell your new one. Oh, here he comes.
Grasshopper, you learned your lessons well. You've earned the right to toll the Shaolin Temple bell. But now you come to fuck with your Brooklyn master. I hate to do this, but guess I'm gonna have to break one off of deep in your ass, my son. 'Cause your dumb ass forgot about